Hello everyone. So what we are going to see in this video is Java data type in Java. So basically let's start the presentation first, in the end of this video we are going to see a code representation of this topic. So let's start from data types in Java. So we have two categories in data types, like the first one is primitive and the second one is non-primitive. So primitive include the already defined data types like int, float, boolean, short, byte, and double. So let's see one by one this data type with the presentation. And in non-primitive we have data types like class, array, and string. String is a class in Java, so it comes under non-primitive data type. So three are there are the non-primitive data type. Let's see one by one primitive data type first. So first of all data type is our byte data type. It's basically an integer in sort of data type, integer form of data type, in which we can store integers up to the range of -128 to 127. Here is an example of me showing that if we initialize a byte variable with the 127, but if we increase the value of that variable by incrementing it, so after that 127, the range of this byte data type is up to 127. So it will reach that, cross that range, and after that it will print -128, come back to the lowest value of that data type. So that's how it's works. It's range up to -128 127, and this example is basically to show you the range of the data type, byte data type. And let's move to the second one. And the short data type is basically a upgraded version of byte data type. It's size of 2 byte, and it's range up to 32,000 something and -32,000 something. So it can store larger values than byte, and of course it has a greater size because it's storing larger values, larger range of values. So yes, so after that we have int. Basically most common use we all, or most of the normal I can say we mostly use int data type for our programming, for our integer things. So he has a size of 4 byte and values up to something like 2 something. You can see that its value goes up to the like million, billion something, or in crores in India. So if we don't initialize our int variable, so it's have a default value of 0. So let's move to the other data type, boolean. A boolean is a data type which can store two different values like true and false, and basically it's used for two conditioning operator in which we have to compare something. Like in this example I have two variables like a and b, boolean type of variables. So a contains false and b contains true. So if after that we have condition and of if and if, we will see if else and condition operator in future videos when we upload that. So for now just think about, we are comparing. If b is equal to true, then this line will print. The code will enter this code of section if it's equal to true, and a equal to false, then code will enter the below section 2. So my values here, I took that like a equal to false and b equal to true, so the both conditions are fulfilled, so that both will run and our output will be hi abc and hello abc. So let's move to the other data type, long. Long has a particular, the highest memory, contains highest memory, highest size like 8 byte, and its range up to, you can see the very large value, it can store very large value. So basically it have a large range, so we can use it for if we want to like let's imagine if we have IDs up to that number, so we have to use that long, but it is not useful in memory optimization. Like see, if we know that our values only go up to like 128 and 130 something, so if we use long data type for that, it will leak our memory. But that's mean it will consume more memory for small tasks. So we just need there to use byte data type. It will be efficient in that case. So every data type has its own use according to the situation. So let's move to the other one, float. in float we can basically store decimals value like 9 point something, 2 point something point value, decimal value, and is range up to 7 decimal digits, like point after point we can store 7 decimal digits. So, and size of float value is 4 byte. An example of writing initializing a float value is to as given below, like float value equal to 9.87 f. We have to put a f in the end of value for particularly for float in Java. Let's move to the other one. Double is a basically upgraded version of float. It can store up to 16 decimal places, and you know it's contain 8 byte of memory. So according to the situation, if we want our value is up to 7 decimal places, so we can use float, and is up to 16 decimal places, so we have to use double in that case. And car is useful in that case if we want to store a single letter, then we use char as a data type in our program or something application. It has a size of 2 byte. It's basically store a single letter. Let's move to the other section. Non-primitive strings comes in non-primitive because it's basically a class. Class comes under non-primitive, and we will see in detail video in class and object, in which we are talking about explaining about what is class and all stuff, object stuff. But for now, you can imagine string is a class, and all class comes under non-primitive. So we can initialize by both ways. The string data type, like given initialized by ABC and by a object form. That the below example is similar to a particular object in which we have to given like a new string. It initializing a object by ABC. So it's a syntax of creating a object. The below syntax is string s1 equal to new string. So class is basically a structure, or what we can say a blueprint of a particular thing, and whatever we create, whenever we create a class, it's represent a new data type in a application or program. For application program, not a universal thing, like it's not work like that. If we create application, we create a class in our application, it works for all other application that in other PCs or something. It's only for our application or program or console application, something like that. So I will upload a video regarding class and object in future, so we can see that there are multiple things in that inside the class, like name, superclass, a parent class, interfaces. They have contain interfaces too, but a body too. A body is a definition, like everything what we have to return in a class, it comes under body. So different sorts of things for a class, but we will see a deep video for that too, because it's a data type video. So we will remain this video on data type for now. So let's move to the other data type. It's array. So basically array is a particularly a data type that comes on non-primitive, but it store a range of values, multiple values firstly, and range of values like similar range of values. Like array, if we storing a particular block of array is storing a int, then all the block of array will store only int values. That's how this works. And we have to initialize our array with some range, like length of an array or something like values of an array. Without initialization, it will throw an error or something in our program. So let's see this kind of data types in our program for further understanding. So there are some properties of that we can take this. Using length function, we can get the length of an array because it comes under non-primitive and it's a class, so we can do that. And the other thing is like a Java variable can also declare like other variables. And like array, we have return types of array, and we can give a value, pass a value of array type in our methods. That's all. Will you understand after you will see all the videos of from somewhere or here on or something like that. So let's move to the code representation of these data types. So basically this is a chart that I put in that representation to summarize everything. Like non-primitive comes under string array and classes, multiple classes, whatever you create. and primitive data type boolean, numeric, characters, integral, integer, and values are bytes or int long. Difference is just because of their size and range. And floating point comes under floating points. Float and doubles comes under that section. Let's move to the code now. I already put an example. I already write an example here. So let's see. I initialize the int, after that a float, and after that double, after that a string, after that a object of a class. If you are having difficulty to understand this, will not to worry. You can understand after some videos or some lectures regarding class and object. You will understand this thing easily after that. And after that, that's our array. That's a syntax of an array. Firstly, we have to write type, which sorts of value are going to store in our array. After that, after that's a type of our array, and after that, that's a representation of an array. That's the brackets. Now that's a variable name, array variable name, and new is the, we know that with the help of new keyword we can create object of a class. So that's the syntax of creating an object. And after that, 4 is the length of an array, size of an array. We can store 4 values in that array. The first thing you just need to know that always array index of array, in which we, by using index, we can store values in an array or get values from an array. So index of array always start from 0 up to length minus 1. Like if length is here 4, so index of array will go like 0 to 3. If array string length, array length is 6 here, so index of array will go like this: 0 1 2 3 4 5. So for now I will just name it as 4, put that 4 here. So I initialize after all a block of array by using the index. We can put values using that and take value using that too, like this syntax. We just need to put a 1 to first position, to, I just take example with that. You can put anything like that, something like string, because type of array is string here, so we can put anything here. So after that, I just show example in which we can take a print out of everything of our data types. So that's the concatenation thing. You can see here, like plus thing, that string. After plus, you can add your variables here in the string, like what we call is concatenation. Output will be a colon and values like that, and that's the string, and we can concatenate things like that. In the last line, I just put something easy to understand thing, like if we concatenate one value, we can concatenate others too in that same line, like using a string separating comma separating two values. Let's see the output now. Just give me a second. It's running, and I think output is here. Yes. So our output is everything. Output is that we initialize, and everything in that section is everything is here. So 1 on 0 we have this value 1 and 3 and 4, empty, and our float values and int values and double values. So that's it. That's all for this video. Some of things are like the syntax of class, initializing it by values like 16, dog, and omnivorous. We will see this in future videos of like class and object. We will get a great idea in future about that. So that's all for this video. Thank you.